Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. I was asked if I could do some appliques to use in a beach scene, so today I'll be showing you how to crochet a pair of flip-flops. They're all crocheted the same except these two pairs have a thinner strap than these other two. The large ones, using 8-ply wool, are 7 centimetres by 3.5 centimetres, or 2 3/4 inches by 1.5 inches. This medium pair, using 4-ply crochet cotton, are 5 centimetres by 2.5 centimetres, or 1 3/4 inches by 1 inch, and the small pair, using number 20 crochet cotton, is 3 centimetres by 1.5 centimetres, or 1 1/4 inches by 3/4 inch. I've got my 8-ply wool, which is light worsted in the US and double knit in the UK. I've got blue for my main colour and white and red for the contrasts. I've got a 2.5mm crochet hook, scissors, a darning needle to weave in the ends, sewing thread and a needle to stitch it together, and I've got these silver beads for the centre of the flower. Now we'll start with the sole. Both soles work the same until the neatening row. We start with 4 chain. For row 1, we miss the first chain and we work 1 single crochet into each remaining chain, and we'll have 3 stitches. A single crochet is called a double crochet in the UK. For a single crochet we put the hook into the stitch and bring through a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn through both loops. And we need a single crochet into each of the last 2 stitches. For row 2 we start with 1 chain and turn our work over. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, one single crochet into the next stitch, and 2 single crochet into the last stitch, and we'll have 5 stitches. For row 3 we work 1 chain and turn, and we work 1 single crochet into each stitch. For row 4 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet into each stitch. For row 5 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over our first 2 stitches. For a joined single crochet we put our hook into the first stitch and bring through a loop, hook into the second stitch and bring through a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn through all the loops. And then we work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then a joined single crochet over our last 2 stitches. And we've got 3 stitches. For row 6 we start with 1 chain and turn, and we work 1 single crochet into each of our 3 stitches. For row 7 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet into each of our 3 stitches. For row 8, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and 2 single crochet into our last stitch. And we've got 5 stitches. For row 9, we start with 1 chain and turn, and we work 1 single crochet into each stitch to the last stitch, and work 2 single crochet into our last stitch. And we've got 6 stitches. For row 10, we start with 1 chain and turn, and work 1 single crochet into each of our 6 stitches. For row 11, we start with 1 chain and turn, and work 1 single crochet into each of our 6 stitches. For row 12, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over our first 2 stitches, and then 1 single crochet into each stitch to the end, and we'll have 5 stitches. For row 13, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet into each stitch to the last 2 stitches, and work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches, and we'll have 4 stitches. For row 14, we start with 1 chain and turn, and work a joined single crochet over our first 2 stitches, and 1 single crochet into each stitch to the end, and we'll have 3 stitches. For row 15, we start with 1 chain and turn, and we're going to work a single crochet cluster over all our stitches. For a single crochet cluster, we put our hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into our last stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn through all the loops. And that's the sole of the flip-flop done. We start on a neatening row now. I'm not going to turn this one. We work 1 chain and then we work a single crochet into each stitch around our work. So just find a suitable place to put your hook, not too far from the edge. So I'll continue working around my work and I'll be back when we get near the end. Now I'm back up to the top of my row. I'm not going to slip stitch in the top of the first stitch, I'm just going to fasten off. And when I weave in my ends, I'll weave it into the first stitch in the side, and that will stop me from getting the little bump. It will be quite smooth along the top. Now I'll work my other sole and I'll be back before I start the neatening row. Now there's the first flip-flop neatened, and without doing the slip stitch in the top, it's quite nice and even. Now for our second flip-flop, we turn our work before we do the neatening row and then work one chain and work one single crochet into each stitch back around. And once again I'll fasten off without slip stitching into the top of the stitch. So I'll complete this one and I'll be back and we'll do the straps and the flowers. Now for the straps we make two. I'll be making thin straps like these ones, but if you wanted your straps a bit thicker, you'd use a single crochet instead of a slip stitch. Now we start with 14 chain. We miss the first chain and work one slip stitch into each stitch to the end. For a slip stitch, we put our hook into the stitch and bring up a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook. The first one's a bit difficult. And fasten off. And that's the first strap. I'll work another one the same. So work 14 chain, miss the first chain and work one slip stitch into each stitch to the end. And fasten off. Now for the flowers, we make a magic loop. For a magic loop, I put my hook on my yarn and bring the short end over the hook and then take the long end over the short end to make a circle, put the yarn around my hook and then bring the hook with the yarn through the circle, and I've got a magic loop. And then I work one chain. Now into my circle I work 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet 5 times. So 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. A double crochet is called a treble in the UK. For a double crochet we put the yarn around the hook, hook in through the circle and bring back a loop. Yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn through the remaining 2 loops. Now we need 1 more single crochet and a double crochet, and then we repeat that 3 more times, a single crochet and a double crochet 3 more times. Then we pull our circle tight, so we take hold of the tail and just ease it in, pull it as tight as you can, and then we join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. So put our hook into the first stitch and bring a loop through and take it straight through the loop on our hook and fasten off. And that's our first flower. The second flowers work the same. We make a magic loop, work 1 chain, and into our circle we work 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet 5 times. So 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet 5 times. We pull our circle tight and slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. And fasten off. Now that's all our pieces crocheted. I'll just weave in my ends and I'll be back and we'll put the flip-flops together. Now here's all the pieces. I have 2 soles, 2 straps and 2 flowers. The first thing I do is attach the straps to the soles, just where it bends in. I attach each side of the strap, just in like that. So I'll do that and I'll be back. And the last thing I do is attach the flower onto the end of the strap with a bead. I stitch right through all the thicknesses. So I'll stitch those on and I'll be back to show you the finished flip-flops. And there's the finished flip-flops. If you like my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns and the details of my Facebook group. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.